When I was pregnant, I got lots of advice, but I needed information I could trust. United Healthcare's innovative, simple program helps moms stay on track with their doctors to get the right care and guidance.
That's health in numbers. United Healthcare.
And now a personal story this Memorial Day weekend. In the spring of 2004, I met an extraordinary group of soldiers in Iraq, involved in one of the most ferocious battles of the war. A platoon was ambushed, 8 soldiers killed in a matter of hours, and more than 60 wounded. At the time, it was the largest loss of life for the 1st Cavalry Division since Vietnam. I have stayed in touch with many of those soldiers and their families through multiple deployments on multiple battlefields. But a few weeks ago, it was a different kind of meeting, a 10-year reunion at Fort Hood, Texas, a powerful and emotional weekend about brotherhood, bonds, and an unbreakable spirit.
It was the day that would define them as a unit, as soldiers, as men.
It was almost indescribable.
It was probably the loudest thing I've ever heard.
Fire came from the right-hand side of the street and the left, and from the front and the rear.
Soldiers who had never been in battle, 19 pinned down in an alley, the rest of the battalion racing to rescue them. Unprotected, exposed, facing masses of armed insurgents.
And we see the Charlie Company truck, just like the one we're riding in, rode down the road to us, 4 flat tires, engine on fire. We're wounded.
So many wounded, so many dead. Piles of bloody boots and body armor stacked outside the aid station. Inside, a young Army doctor, David Mathias, who until that day had treated only the children of soldiers back home in Texas.
I'm a pediatrician. It was shocking at first to see these battle wounds. The best word I can come up with is it was just like a tidal wave.
A tidal wave that would continue for 15 months. By the end of their deployment, the 1st Cavalry Division had lost 169 soldiers.
Some guys have seen some things that no one ever wants to see. I understand now what it means when you go to a veterans ceremony and you see the old veterans get together and hug and cry, and you never really understood it. I understand it now.
And 10 years later, Gary Valesky understands it even better.
And that's what this is all about. It's about a family, not a unit, not a battle in a city, about a family.
It doesn't really seem like 10 years.
And it seems like a lifetime ago. And then you walk in here and it seems like yesterday.
What do you remember most about that day?
Disbelief.
I believe in everything happens for a reason, right? There's nobody standing out here that's alone. You will never be alone, and that's just the way it is. Come on! It's a brothership.
A brothership, a family that has grown and struggled, but survived. On this hot Texas night, they are again one.
Our God, we come together as people who've been through the unthinkable. God, I just pray that our hearts always be turned to those who aren't here. I pray for their families, that this would be a time of healing. In your name we pray. Amen.
How old was he? 25.
Angel's younger brother, Robert Arciaga, was killed trying to rescue the platoon. Arciaga's name, like the others, now etched on a granite memorial. It was where the soldiers gathered the second day.
Present! Present! Oh!
10 years ago today, our hearts and lives changed forever. Not only for those who lost someone, but for those who returned home with memories they never asked for.
Never asked for, and for some, almost too much to bear. What does this mean to you?
It's huge. This is what I needed. I needed this to kind of turn the next page, if you will.
It's been hard doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been hard.
Eric Borquin and Justin Bellamy know the pain as well. They were in that alley together under withering fire. Today, they are both fathers and students.
Is it hard seeing the guys who aren't doing so well?
It does hurt because they're like our brothers.
What would you say to them about how to get through it?
Get help. You can lie to everybody else, but that guy you're looking at in the mirror, he knows you're hurting. After Afghanistan, that was the first time I went and got help. I didn't want to be mean dad or mean husband. I still wanted to, enjoy my family.
And young Dr. Matthias, he practices medicine in Wisconsin. He and his wife just adopted a child in China to add to the 5 they already have. But the pediatrician still thinks about that first night of trauma a decade ago.
You were broken up last night during your beautiful prayer. What was going through your mind right then? What happened to you?
Desperately wishing we could have brought everybody back.
Troy, you lost the first soldier on April 4th. It was
Sergeant Chen.
Eddie Chen was your guy.
I've paid many respects to him and begged for forgiveness.
Why do you say begged for forgiveness?
Well, I mean, it's family, right? You lose part of your family. Well, I know in my head there's not anything I could have done to prevent that. Doesn't make it any less easy.
And Gary Valesky, the wise and courageous young colonel, he is now a 2-star general and headed off to command the famed 101st Airborne Division. But no other division, no soldiers, will ever take the place of these heroes. That bond is forever.
And those families are heroic as well.